Good evening. Happy New Year and welcome to the New Year's edition of The Chop with Marvin Lee. Again, Happy New Year to everybody. I hope that um, everyone had a great time, everyone is safe, um, that we start this year differently than we ended 2023. Wash off, well, let me not say it this way. Take the lessons of 2023 into 2024 and allow this year to bring about the change that we so desire. And on tonight's episode, this again is the New Year's edition of the Chop with Marvin Lee. I'm going to be talking about something that I hope that we all can bring along with us into this new year, as this is a year of um, a lot abundance in your spiritual enhancement, spiritual growth, finances. If you focus in that area, whatever we focus on, there's going to be um, an abundance of manifestation. But it's not going to happen if I'm not willing to put forth the effort, or if I'm not willing to put forth the labor. I'm not going to be rewarded at all. It's like many of us want to enjoy the fruits of labor without putting forth the labor. And that's been my issue in the past as well. So, again, this year, I want us to keep that in mind for 2024. And what I want to talk about is as we are in the process of manifesting things, we're going to talk about comparison and comparison versus identification. Comparison versus identification. First off, comparison is a thief of joy, right? I'm not gonna compare myself to anybody else, because anytime that I find myself comparing me to someone else, I'm saying that I am not satisfied with my most authentic self. There's still something about me that I don't like. There is still an area of my life that needs healing. And once that healing, again, I said last week, in order to heal it, I have to feel it, no matter what that is. So when I'm comparing myself to someone else, I'm saying that I'm not content with me. That's one thing. Two, um, I'm robbing myself of the joy that I have. Happiness is an emotion. Joy is a state of being. Like faith is a faith is what it is. Joy is what it is. When you have joy, if you have true joy, you're always going to be happy. If you have true joy, you're always going to be positive. If you have true joy, it's not to say that you won't experience other feelings and emotions and other thoughts, but you'll always come back to the center of your joy. And it's that joy that keeps us grounded in the reality that no matter what happens, no matter what comes down the pipe, I'm good. I'm good. The situation may not be good, but the outcome is going to be good because my joy is driving my attitude, and my attitude for gratitude is going to elevate me to a place of it's not just about my attitude, it's about my or my attitude will determine my altitude. Um, so again, that's comparison. Now, when we talk about identification, when I compare myself to somebody, comparison leads to resentment. But when I identify with somebody, identification leads to relation. So we're talking about comparison versus identification, resentment versus relation. I want to relate to the next person because I can learn something from anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, black or white, tall, short, gay, straight. It doesn't matter about any of the labels that we put on people, or the isms or the schisms or anything else. If I am trying to identify with the person that I'm speaking with, or the person that I'm connecting with or trying to connect with, because I don't connect with just anybody, or when I'm interacting with someone, when I'm looking for areas of identification, I'm looking for areas in which I can relate. I'm looking for similarities. I'm not looking for differences. I'm able to glean from your wisdom, glean from your knowledge, because now I'm listening to something. If you've gone out and you've made an accomplishment in a specific area that I want to make an accomplishment in, I shouldn't compare myself to you because I'm going to resent you for what you have. Whereas what I should do is sit and have an open, honest conversation with you about how did you get where you got. Because if I want what you have, I have to do what you did. And at the end of the day, it may not look the same. I may have to tweak a few things, but at the end of the day, I'm able to bring myself to someone else for their experience to help me along in my process. And that's how we get ahead, right? So again, the comparison versus the identification. I don't want there to be any resentments um, for anything that I want that someone else has, because through the resentment that leads to jealousy and all the other dissensions and everything else. But when there's identification, that leads. You know what? I celebrate anybody that is celebrating. There's enough room. There is enough room at the table for everybody to eat. Everybody has to understand their role. Everybody has to understand their part. And when we learn to treat people the way we want to be treated, and when we learn to just really honor other people, that's where it starts. But because I honor myself, I don't have a problem with honoring anybody else. I am not in competition with anybody. I'm going to say that again. I am not in competition with anybody. I'm only competing with myself. I am only competing with myself. And what I mean by that is I'm constantly trying to improve upon uh, yesterday's version of me. It's not that I don't like yesterday's version of me. In fact, I love yesterday's version of me. But I'm learning to love today's version of me just as much. And I understand that change is the only constant in my life. So that means that I'm constantly changing. My spirit is constantly changing. As I feed my spirit takes over, right? I want to raise my vibration. I want to raise my frequency. I want to, in the process of raising my vibration and raising my frequency, I am now able to attract the things that I desire from the universe. I'm able to attract the things that I'm desiring from the God of my understanding. I'm able to attract the things that are like me, because contrary to popular belief, we don't attract what we want. We attract what we are. So I'm learning how to, you know, I had mentioned last week that organized chaos was something that I was accustomed to, and I was prone to, self-sabotaging, because I was accustomed to doing those things. That was the energy that I was the most familiar with and the most comfortable with. But now I'm in a space in my life where I want to elevate. I want to ascend to my higher self. I want to make sure that I'm always conscious of what I'm thinking, how I'm acting, um, who my audience is. I want to practice my awareness, my discernment, because I need to know who's for me, who's not for me. I need to know your intentions before you even open your mouth. Through discernment, I'm able to understand if someone has my best intentions at heart or not, without even trying to go through any of the toxic arguments. You know what? I go where I'm celebrated, not where I'm tolerated. um, and my energy, everybody and everything is not deserving of my energy. And as I go into 2024, I'm taking that with me. I want to be more committed to me, more committed to my process, because at the end of the day, I just need to understand the process. I don't have to rush the process in order to trust the process. Again, many of you know that I am a recovering addict, and a friend of mine today, I'm not going to say his name, but he knows who he is. So if he's watching this, he again, he knows who he is. So I want to say congratulations. He has 5 years clean today, and I always love to see him celebrate, because when he celebrates, now this is his day and it's about him, but because I relate to him and the joy and the peace and the growth I see in his life and the financial prosperity that he's experienced, I know that I'm right behind him in a couple of months. I'll be celebrating 5 years. And again, I may not be where he is right now, and that's okay, because I can glean from his experience. What did you do? How did you get from point A to point B? I'm able to take suggestions. I'm able to take recommendations, because at the end of the day, when I'm willing to be taught, I will be taught. Um, and when I'm willing to teach, if that is what I'm supposed to do, God will see fit that what I need to be teaching or what needs to be taught, I will have more than enough information. But at the end of the day, I do have to study to show myself approved, what have you. Because again, I'm responsible for what I feed to the masses. I'm responsible for what I say to Not only myself, I'm responsible for what I say to other people, and it's through that connection that I'm able to feed others, and it's through that connection that I'm able to be fed. So again, it's the comparison piece for me that I have to make sure that I don't get caught up in, because now I'm looking at, oh, you're tall, I'm short. Oh, your eyes are blue, mine are gray. Oh, your hair is long, I'm bald. Oh, none of that even matters. God knew what he was doing when he made you the exact way that he made you. The dimensions that you are, your measurements. Be all of who you are. You can't be all of who I am. I can't be all of who you are. I step into this beautiful black cocoa brown skin that I'm in. I love all 6'2", 212 pounds of me, because there's a time in my life where I couldn't say that. There's a time in my life where I didn't even want to look in the mirror at myself. There was a time in my life that I never want to go back to, because I had degraded myself in so many different ways that if anybody now treated me a tenth of the way that I treated myself, there would be some problems. There would be some repercussions and some consequences. And I'm grateful for growth. I'm grateful for growth. And it's in my process. I've come to understand that God likes things that are broken. Um, and I mean that in this way. He's able to build me back to what I need to be built into. And he creates in me a clean heart so that I'll go back and do the same for somebody else. God works through us to reach other people. God is not in a box by any means. He's able to do whatever he needs to do, however he needs to do it. I just choose to cooperate and allow him to use me as a vessel or a conduit to be able to bring about the blessing that needs to be brought into somebody's life. I want to be, we change the world by changing one person at a time. We don't change the world by changing the world. We change the world by changing one person at a time. So if I can reach one person and change one person's mentality or one person's perspective about something, I've done my job, or I'm doing my job. And I keep moving. I just don't stop. I do not know how to let grass grow under my feet. That's something I don't do. Now, I have a lot of faults and I have a lot of flaws. One thing that I want to work on for myself, this is not a resolution. This is just something I should have been doing. I need to work on a better sleep schedule this year. Because sleep is everything. If I'm not sleeping well, I'm not going to function well. And I want to always present my best self, my most authentic, my most genuine, my most, I'm not going to say complete because I'll never be complete, but I want to present my best self at all times. And it starts with better sleep. I'm talking about raising my vibration. That's one way to do it. A better sleep schedule. A better nutritional diet, more water. Ooh, this one's gonna get a lot of people. The casual sex. If you're trying to raise your vibration, casual sex is not a way to do it. But I'm gonna let y'all marinate on that one. It's time for me to stop giving into the lesser self, the things that I want right away, because I want immediate satisfaction. I want long-term gain. And a lot of time, long-term gain, because it requires patience. This is why the road narrows, because not many people are willing to endure until the end. Not many people are willing to shift. This process comes in layers. And I'm starting to understand that I'm committed to this. And as long as I'll see this process continue, and as long as I stay in the process and I'm committed in the process, and as long as I'm committed to the process, I'm going to reach the level that the God of my understanding that desires me to be at. I will get there. You will get there. We have to understand that time takes time. We have to understand that time takes time. And everybody has to start at start. Your starting line, my starting line is our starting line. It may not be the same place, but it's for me. So it's equal in the sight of God. I can't start at the finish line, but I can finish at the starting line. And I've decided that I don't want to finish at the starting line by not allowing myself the opportunity to even begin the process in the first place. And some of the ways that I finish at the starting line is those limiting beliefs that I have, that negative self-talk. I look at all the things that tell me you're not qualified to do this, you're not qualified to do that. But how many of you know if God says do it, that's all the qualification you need? That is all the qualification you need. Um, Again, it's like as I recount 2023 for myself, I learned a lot in 2023. I grew a lot in 2023, and I'm not beating myself up for where I don't think I am. I'm celebrating myself for how far I've come. I'm not so worried about, oh my God, I got such a long way to go. No, my attitude of gratitude says celebrate the small victories. Look at where you came from. Look at where you came from. Um, and right before I came on, like I'm going bananas in my head because I was watching the Rose Bowl, Alabama, Michigan, and the game went to overtime, and it was right when I had to start recording it. I'm now wondering what the score is, but I'll find the score out when I'm done, so I'm not worried about that. Because yes, I am. I love sports. Love, love, love sports. Um, but anyways, again, as I listen to others for identification, and I listen to their experiences, and I listen to their stories, and I listen to their struggles, uh, I glean from that. I glean from that because it helps me understand what uh, could potentially work for me, what could deter me, what could be detrimental to me. Um, I want to win. So naturally, I want to have a variety of people around me. I can, I heard people say, surround yourself with the winners. Yes, that's good. That's fine. But everybody in the crew are not going to have winning experiences. I understand in theory what is being said. However, what I am more interested in is being around a diverse group of people. Now, I'm not trying to be around negative people. Understand that. But, and I'm not trying to be around losers. But who determines who a winner is? My perspective of what it means to win, I have to make sure I understand that, because if I'm learning lessons from the mistakes that I make, even regardless of whether it's a deliberate mistake or not, hopefully I'm not doing anything deliberately, which some of us, again, I was one of those people, I was self-sabotaging. However, if I'm constantly trying to improve upon myself, if I'm constantly trying to learn from my mistakes, if I'm constantly growing from that, am I not winning? What determines or what causes me or what determines the fact of whether I'm a winner or not? Is it because I have a big Bentley sitting in the driveway? Is it because I have a 3-story house, 5-story, five car garage? Is it because I have a 6-figure bank account? Or is it because I love other people and I'm helping other people? I'm serving other people because I'm working on the things I'm going within so that I don't go without. Is it because I'm actually doing things that matter in the lives of other people, and I'm doing it with intention and not for attention? What makes me a winner? What do I say about myself? In 2024, I want us to be more cognizant of, more mindful of, how are we talking to ourselves? When we speak about ourselves, we should not be using negative words. We have to be really careful about what we say, how we say it, what we're listening to, what the music we're listening to is saying about us, what we're saying about each other. I want to be that person. Yeah, some people might look at me like I'm weird or crazy. You know what? It's okay to be weird, because when somebody says you're weird, they just say you're different. And guess what? Different is not bad. I'm not afraid to stand out. I was never meant to blend in. I don't want to call women out of their names. I don't want to put my hands on a woman. I don't want to call men out of their names. I don't want to call anybody out of their names. If I don't know your name, I just won't say anything. If I can't say something positive about you, I want to keep my mouth shut. I don't want to put my I don't want to release any negative energy into anybody's life. Does that mean I'm not going to? No, it's not what that means. But it means that I'm not going to be deliberate in trying to. And if I find that I have um, inadvertently spoken something negative about someone or into somebody's life, immediately I need to cancel that energy out. I need to retract that. I need to kill it. How do I do that? By speaking something positive. I need to apologize immediately to God, to the universe, um, whether that person hears me or not. I don't necessarily per se have to call them up and say, I said this about you, but I want to take this back. No, I don't have to do all that. If they didn't hear you, they don't know. They're not even aware of it. Don't even breathe it into their realm, because now you're creating a thought in their mind. But just kill it immediately. Uh, in 2024, I want to go deeper into serving other people. I want to be more deliberate in how I reach other people. I want to be more deliberate in how I interact with other people. I want to be more deliberate in the information that I'm giving other people. I want to, you know, I want to commit to um, staying open minded and having a receptive heart. Staying open minded and having a receptive heart. But again, I want to make sure that I'm practicing discernment. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna do anything that's gonna benefit someone else to my own detriment. I'm not gonna help you uh, stand up just to see myself fall down. I'm not gonna help you stand up just to see myself fall down. Uh, but I do want us to learn to see each other. I want us to learn to hear each other. I want us to learn to love each other. Because again, we're talking about comparison versus identification. We said earlier, comparison leads to resentment. Identification leads to relating. I don't want to resent anybody, but I want to be able to relate to everybody. If I can't relate to you, I can't reach you. But if I can relate to you, I can reach you. You may be able to make a change in my life, and I may be able to make a change in your life. And that's what it's all about, changing the world, one life, one person at a time. This has been episode number, I think this is episode 11. I'm quite sure it is. The Chop with Marvin Lee, the New Year's edition. We're talking about comparison versus identification, resentment versus relating. Um, Again, I want to wish everybody a happy New Year. As you guys know, every Monday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, um, I record my podcast, and I'm looking for some big things this year for my podcast. And I typically keep it around 30 minutes to an hour if I have a guest. I'm by myself. I can talk, but I don't want to just talk, 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 talk. And I don't have any. There are a few people in the audience, but there are no call-ins yet. And once I get to that format, everything, the kinks ironed out and everything, and you guys are calling in, I'll actually talk to you. You can ask me questions, and I want to be able to share my experience with you. Or if you have something that you want to say to me. I mean, I want to interact. That's what it means to chop. But again, this has been episode 11, the New Year's edition of the Chop with Marvin Lee. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I thank you for supporting me. I thank you for believing me, believing in me, and believing me. Um, Thank you for the opportunity to show up and say something to you that's going to motivate you, inspire you, and encourage you. I hope you all have a great week. I will see you guys next Monday night, same time, same IP address. Again, I love you all. This is the Chat with Marvin Lee. I hope you all will have a phenomenal week. See you guys on next Monday.